Well, welcome to this installment of the Cyber Sentinel Show. My name is Alan Adcock, and I am the CEO of ASC Group. Today on Cyber Sentinel, we're going to discuss TikTok, which has been in the news recently. TikTok is a media sharing application that has risen to popularity in the last couple of years. One report I saw said that there are more kids on TikTok than there are on Facebook now. I'm not a big TikTok user myself. I don't really know much about it, but when the president has news conferences about it and everybody in the media is talking about the government banning TikTok, we started to take notice and dig into this a little bit more. So the federal government has banned TikTok on all federal employees, machines, and mobile devices for some time now. Based on the fact that it collects a lot of personally identifiable information and was deemed a security threat, a national security threat. So how do we go from a video sharing platform to a national security threat? Well, TikTok is owned by a company called ByteDance. ByteDance is a Chinese company, and there is a law in China that was passed about 2017 that requires all Chinese companies to provide the government, the Chinese Communist Party, any personal information that they collect at will. So anything that's collected on a Chinese-made app, we're talking about TikTok today, but any app that's a Chinese app, those app owners are required, if it's a Chinese-based company, they're required to provide the Communist Party access to all of that data. The TikTok response to that was, well, we store, data on U.S. users in U.S. data centers and Singapore data centers. Okay, so the data sits outside, but that doesn't say anything about the access, who has access to that data. And where that, regardless of where the data is stored. If it's in a Chinese data center, obviously it's offshore there. But it's the difference here is between the United States. If the federal government wants to get access to data that is stored at Google or at Facebook on you, they've got to go through the courts and they've got to get equivalent of search warrants and all that stuff to be able to go even request that data, and then the company has to respond back with those search warrants and that request for discovery. It's the exact opposite in China, where the Chinese Communist government has basically said, if you're a company operating here, you have to give us everything. It's not really an option. So it's very different in the data integrity and the privacy law. Obviously, there isn't any privacy law there at all. So so all they're going to collect then, what people are confused a little bit about, why do I care if all I'm sharing and viewing on TikTok are some videos and stuff like that? That really doesn't give up any information that I really care about. Well, this is where we got to be really careful with our apps and that we install and what they ask for when you install them. Verizon sent out a warning that said, there are, about these Chinese applications. So there's no security on these things, and that they are extensively used by hackers and child traffickers. So there's a lot of research right now going into how extensively is that exploited. But just another kind of angle on who could be getting access to that aside from the Communist Party. When you install an application on your mobile device, for instance, it usually pops up and says, hey, I need access to, and it gives you this list of things that it wants to access, right? So in the instance of something like a video sharing app, it's going to want access to your images folder and things like that. Well, it turns out TikTok is looking for your images folder, is pulling all of your contacts out of your contact list. It's pulling your search history out of your mobile device browsers. It's logging keystrokes when it's open, which could be divulging passwords to other sites that you have accessed while it's open. And they're tracking your location data based on GPS in your phone. even though they don't ask you when you sign up for an account to give your address, your city, state, anything like that, they just go pull it from the phone itself. So they're triangulating a whole bunch of data on you besides just, okay, hey, I shared a video. So what do you do about this? Well, we think that TikTok is getting ready to get banned by the federal government. So that app is going to go away. Or there's some other US-based corporations that are looking at purchasing the US instance of the TikTok application. Microsoft is one of those. In that case, then that data would move over to Microsoft data centers. The privacy laws would then fall under the United States because it's a US-based corporation, and they could go through the application and close the security holes that are there. But every social media platform has this kind of setup, and so we've got to be careful about that. When you're installing apps on your phone, be really vigilant of what it's asking for from an access standpoint. Why does this app need access to my contacts? I personally don't. If an app wants to know my contact list, I'm like, nah, I'm not putting that on my phone. The other stuff that's really shady is if you're installing an app and it's logging keystrokes, search history. There was a bug in Apple product recently where applications could gain access to your clipboard, which is a temporary storage space on the device. That has since been closed with a patch that Apple released. But TikTok was one of the applications that they had accused of extensively using and pulling information out of that cache. Why do they need that? We don't, there's no legitimate reason you need that. It's just they could, so they're just going to go ahead and pull it. And who knows what was the last thing that you put in the clipboard? You don't really, was it a password? Was it an address? What was it? Most people don't know. There's no way to really look at that. So pay close attention to what apps you install. Pay close attention to where those apps come from, where are they made, who controls them. When you install an app, pay close attention to what information it is asking for. And a lot of people like myself, we run VPNs for general access on all of our mobile devices. So carriers don't have access to that data stream, and then something like an application wouldn't have access to your location data either. It's going to be some VPN obscured location. So those are our tips on apps, and we'll see here in the coming months what happens at the TikTok saga. If you have any other questions about technology or security, you can find us online at #Cyber Sentinel. Again, I'm Alan Adcock. I'm the CEO of ASC Group, and we are available online at www.ascgrp.com. Thank you.